Hello, Wolfpack fans, and welcome to our weekly segment, Wolfpack Watch. I'm Doug Wood, your voice of the Wolfpack, and I'm here, as usual, with our head coach, Scott Jones.
Thank you.
Coming off a thrilling homecoming victory here at the Den against rival North Cobb, 24-17. Coach, just first of all, give me your overall thoughts on the game before I get into some specific questions.
Well, I mean, it was a hard-fought game, and again, we turned the ball over 4 times. Not again, but that didn't help us any. But defense played well, and offensively, we scored 24 points. So we had some hiccups in a couple of parts of our game that we got to clean up. But very fortunate to come out with a win, and look forward to the next game.
You talk about the turnovers. I think it was a 4-1 deficit, and we talked about that board in there. We lost that battle. 24-17, they scored 1 touchdown on a fumble and score. They scored a field goal off of one of the interception, and then the other fumble turned into their other touchdown. Our defense held as much as we possibly could. We win that game 24-17. In my mind, we could have won that game a little bit bigger, don't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, 4 turnovers, we don't have those right there. Hopefully the score's a little different, but, those things happen. That ball bounces funny out there, and we're not going to be perfect week in and week out, but we definitely got to cut down on the turnovers. And but when those things happen, we got to rally around the defense, and they just went out there and they did their thing again this week.
Speaking of that defense, I was mentioning in the booth as I was talking to several of the people that were up there, they never drove the field on us. The only reason they got the points they got were from the turnovers, directly obviously, but they never drove the field. That defense just was relentless again, as they have been all season long. Talk about what they did to keep you guys in this ballgame.
Well, going in, we knew they got 2 great running backs, and the offensive line does a great job. And going in, they started a young quarterback who I thought did a great job managing the game. But going in, it didn't matter really which quarterback they had in there. We felt like that they were going to live by the run, and so. We worked on that all week long, and defense, we challenged them, and they rose to the occasion and got the job done, and really been doing it every week, So, offensively, we're scoring enough points, so we can't take anything away from the offense, special teams either, but defense right now, they, like I said in probably the second episode of this right here, defense wins championships. So I'll go ahead and repeat that again.
The offense. They were able to sustain a couple drives, certainly right out of the box. That running touchdown by Lucas Mays, that set the tone for it. Obviously, they came back and tied at 7-7, but we stayed on it. A few plays here and there. Obviously, some drives got stalled, but those 2 drives, the 3 drives where we scored the touchdowns, those were big. And Malmgren made some key passes. One long throw to Dylan Patterson, and I remember a long pass to, or a good out pass to Luke Dabble. Talk about how they kept the drives going and kept you guys in the game.
Well, I mean, we've got weapons everywhere. We've got receivers, we got running backs. Ross can get it to these guys, and so that's what we've got to do. We've got to spread the ball around and have the defense try to defend the whole field and make good decisions as we go along. So, we don't mind punting if we're playing great defense, and we punted 6 times, but. We punted 8 times the game before that, but if a drive stalls and you got a good defense, it's not the end of the world. Especially when you got a punter who's averaging right at 42 yards a punt, Jackson Gravely. So,
I was just about to say that the couple of the punts pinned them either even deeper in field position than they thought they were going to get out of a drive that they stopped. So that was big key to the game. Field goal, we had the long field goal by Travelstead to get us up 17-7. Talk a little bit about the end of the game. We're up 24-17. They have the ball. They're actually moving the ball a little bit because they're in desperation mode. Right. They got helped out by the penalty to put them in our territory. Right. And then they make that long pass, which probably was the first pass they targeted that receiver the entire day. And I noticed that he happened to be the tallest receiver, obviously. They threw it up to him. He catches it. your heart had to stop a little bit as he caught that ball and was still up before we made the tackle.
Right. Well, I was hoping that the ball wouldn't get to the end zone, and he went up on the 5-yard line. We had 2 guys there. We had Murphy and Venezial, and thank goodness we made the tackle right there and took care of business. But we were in prevent mode then, and so we had 4 guys rushing. We wasn't bringing linebackers, and so he was going to have time to get it off. And so fortunate for us, I don't like being in that position, but again, defense prevailed.
Do you guys practice that stuff in practice? I watch on college football, NFL football, even high school games, where you say to yourself, how did you not cover that? How did you not guard that? You guys are practicing for that situation, assuming I remember seeing everybody lined up on the goal line just saying, I dare you to go past me. I dare you to go past me. You guys practice for that.
We do. I mean, Hail Marys is part of the game, and you've got to at least know how to line up and what to look for. And so we do practice that, just like we practice the Hail Mary on offense ourselves. So it's one of those deals where you got to make a play when you got to make a play, and so do they. And sometimes you got to put it in the hands of the athletes that are out there. And so fortunate for us, they didn't make it to the end zone.
Absolutely. We win 24-17. The crowd was amazing. Homecoming, obviously, was the festivities were amazing as well. Let's talk about this upcoming week. We're overall 6-1, 1-1 in the region, currently tied for 3rd, I believe, as the standings shake out right now. We have McEachern coming up here in the Den, the final regular season home game. I know McEachern went to Kennesaw Mountain last week and put a number on them. Talk about this McEachern team. They're supposed to, I believe, preseason, they were supposed to be the best team in the region. Talk about what you expect this coming week.
Well, same McEachern. They're very talented. They're coached well. They're big. I mean, they outweigh us probably 90 pounds a man as far as the offensive line goes versus our defensive line, and probably 40 pounds a man on flipping the table there, defense versus offense. But North Cobb was bigger than us too, and so. But we got to get out there and just play hard and give ourselves a chance, just like in the North Cobb game. And so we're excited about the opportunity. We're glad that we're in this position right now.
I'm looking forward to it Friday night as well. Obviously, last home game, it'll be the last time I do it, hopefully until we get a home game in the playoffs, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Any skill position guys on this McEachern team that you got a key on? Wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks?
Running back, Parrish Brown, one of the best in the state. He's very elusive. They got a big receiver, Genuine Potts, who's a big, tall kid. I think he's like 6'3", 210. He's one of those guys that he's scary running around out there, and the quarterback is he gets out of trouble well and makes good decisions. And they're just big. It's a big football team as far as size, and so we've got to match the intensity from the first play and get out there and get after it.
I'm figuring based on the talent that they have on the offensive side of the ball versus North Cobb, and not that North Cobb was that bad, but I'm figuring there are better athletes on the McEachern side of the ball offensively. You can't have a 4-1 turnover deficit this week to win this game, can you?
No, we don't want that deficit ever anyway. It don't matter who we're playing, but that's the first time that we've had that many in a game, and hopefully we can clean that up. But no, we can't have that happen.
As we look forward to this game, after that we have 2 road games, and one is against Kennesaw Mountain. The other one is against Marietta, who is 2-0 in the region. This is going to be a battle to see who finishes in what spot for the top 4, right?
Well, right now it's pretty interesting. With our victory over North Cobb and Marietta's victory over Hillgrove, now it kind of shakes everything up, and so who knows? All we need to concentrate on is North Paulding and us, and getting better at practice every day, and trying to clean up what we need to clean up, and getting ready for this next game, and then we'll worry about the next one.
Absolutely. All right, so upcoming this week, McEachern here at the Den, senior night. I want to thank you, Coach, for joining us again this week. We look forward to reviewing the McEachern game next week and previewing the Kennesaw Mountain game the following week. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Wolfpack Watch, and with me now is senior place kicker and punter number 18, Jackson Gravely. Jackson, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Jackson, you're in your senior year. We're 6-1. Only our loss over there at Hillgrove. Give us your thoughts on the season so far. How do you think things are going?
Great season. We've had tons of fun with all the players. We've come out on top on a lot. We had that one loss, but.
How do you think individually you're progressing so far? I know this is your senior year. You only got 3 regular season games and some playoff games after the fact. I've seen you kick at North since you were a sophomore. Tell us, generally about your career and how you think you've progressed so far.
I think I've come a long way, especially with my punting. I think I've gotten better every single year with it. Just keeping on and getting better.
As far as what you like the most here, working with this coaching staff, working with the players, being around these guys, what are you going to miss the most after it's all over?
Just the friendships with all those guys. I love all of them. We have great friendships with all of them.
And how do they treat you? I know in circles that I've known in the past and stuff that I hear about place kickers and punters in general, how do you get treated on this team being the position that you're playing?
They're always joking around with me and making fun of me, but it's all out of love. They're always just messing around.
They give you a lot of grief for being a place kicker and a punter, don't they?
But then when I make a good play, they always love me for it. So.
That's what I was going to ask next. Don't they depend on you in key moments where it's either you need a big punt or you need a big kick to put some points on the board? They love you then, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they love me then, that's for sure.
Talking about this last game, I was talking with Coach before you came on. You had a couple of outstanding punts this last week that really put North Cobb in a bad position field-wise, and basically, as they always say, flip the field. You love that kind of stuff, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's my job. I love it.
This year, as a senior, you're actually sharing place kicking duties, kickoff and extra points and field goals with Brock Travelstead. Any issues there? That's good with you?
No, we always practice games. We're always just competing, making each other better, and we're always rooting for each other. So
that's what I was going to say. Are you two making each other better at this point?
Oh yeah, we're always rooting for each other.
Good. Last question. You're going to be done here at some point in the next few months whenever our run is over. What are your plans after high school, academically and or athletically?
I want to play football in college, and I think I want to be a teacher, so going to college for that.
Interesting. All right. Well, we look forward for you to go to that next level. Keep us up to date with any offers you might get, anything that might be happening. We look forward to seeing you on the college football field next year kicking those field goals.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining me,
Thanks.
Jackson. Wolfpack Football would like to thank Paulding Building Supply for their support of the 2017 season. Thank you, Paulding Building Supply. Welcome back to Wolfpack Watch, and with me now is junior long snapper number 67, Carson Crisp. Carson, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Carson, you're in your junior year. We're 6-1 so far, 2 games into region play. Give us your thoughts on the season so far.
We've had a great season. It's definitely been an interesting one. We've had a lot of ups and downs, but hopefully we just keep on doing what we're doing.
You just came off of a thrilling homecoming victory over North Cobb. You're going into McEachern next week. Give us your sense of the situation going into this big game next week.
Well, I'm excited. I know we need to work hard, and that means a good week of practice and a good game Friday.
As a long snapper, tell me what that good week of practice means for you.
Just consistency, that's all it is.
I was talking with my son a few weeks ago, and they were mentioning that you're one of the top-rated long snappers in the country at this point. And I kind of took that to heart. I've known you for a lot of years. You guys played middle school football together. How did you get into doing this? When did you decide, you know what, long snapper is where I need to be?
Well, after my freshman year, my dad took me outside in the front yard, got a ball. He's like, throw it between your legs, and I did a good job. So he just kept on working with me. I went to a few camps and got really good.
That's awesome. The games that I've seen this year, I don't think that I've seen one mistake at this point. So I'm not trying to jinx you at all, but you're doing a heck of a job. And for you to be rated where you are, long snapper wise, that's absolutely incredible. So, congratulations on that. You're in your junior season. You've got 3 games left in the regular season, whatever playoffs we have after that. Tell me your thoughts as we're coming down to the end of the season. Where do you want to be as far as, I know we want some home games here in the playoffs if we can get them. Tell me where you'd like to be.
Well, I'd just like to keep on winning them, keep on going with all my family, and just have fun.
Next season, I assume you're going to be back here, right, doing the same thing. After you get done with that, what are you looking forward to as far as your career after North Paulding, both academically and athletically?
I'd love to play football in college. It would be a dream come true.
Me and my son have talked on several occasions. There may be nothing better than being a long snapper on a team for either college or even in the pros. I remember telling him there was a guy who did long snapping duties for the Chicago Bears for some 20-odd seasons. That's longevity right there.
Oh, yes.
And if you think to yourself, if you can actually do this at a higher level and keep doing it this way, do you think about those things? Do you think about you can get to that level?
I would love it.
They have all these rules to protect the snappers now. Nobody can truck you off the line, and you have to have a free release and that kind of stuff. That's got to be a positive thing for you.
Oh, yes, Mom loves it for sure.
So there we go. We got Mom looking forward to this. We got a Mom reference inside the Wolfpack Watch for the first time, I think. So, all right, well, we're coming down to the end of the season. You're going to be going in. What are you going to miss the most when we get done with this season and then looking forward to next season?
I'm going to miss all the seniors, of course. We've had a good few years together and made a lot of memories. And I'm hoping to make new memories with all the younger kids that are coming up for the next years to come.
Well, the 2019 class is special for me. My son's in that class. I know he's no longer playing football, but I look forward on Senior Night 2019 to be introducing your name as part of the senior class for Wolfpack Football. And as we wrap our segment with the junior football practice behind us, Carson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to reviewing the McEachern game next week and looking forward to Kennesaw Mountain the following week. Thanks for joining us.